10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Through Black and White Eyes after this afternoon's show. I hope you've all had a chance to watch it because it was absolutely brilliant speaking to Anna, who was a Wimbledon fan, getting her perspective, coming to St James's Park and basically getting to rank the stadium and other stadiums she's visited and stuff like that. It was a brilliant little 40-minute show. So please go back and watch it if you haven't yet because it was fantastic. Ian's just made it in time. Superfan Dan's struggling. John hasn't replied, but John's probably asleep. He is getting old. There's the link if you want to become a member. Even all, please like, share, and subscribe. It's free. It is free to subscribe. If you want to be a member, you can be a member. Please stick to community guidelines and all that sort of stuff. Evening, Roger. Evening, Gary. Great to see the regulars in the house as always. I received a visitor early, so one had to change channel. Oh. I like it. Roger, Gary, Roger. It was late because I'm a dafty told the unseen match cam from PSG. Yes, it's been a year ago today since we absolutely hammered the French, as we always do. We always hammer the French, don't we? It really was a great show, Leslie. She was lovely. Evening Baz and Bazette in the chat, evening Daniel. If the cap fits, Gary, if the cap fits. Yeah, it was a great show this afternoon. It was just nice to hear from an away fan coming to St James's Park, a sensible view, telling us what it's like, as an away fan to visit such an amazing ground. So it was a really good chat. I really enjoyed it. And hopefully we're going to do more of that. I've got a Brighton fan lined up for when Brighton come up. So hopefully it's going to be a regular thing just for away games. For our home games, for their away game, if that makes sense. Right, stop rambling on. Let's bring them in.
Hi, mate.
How's it going?
All right. Not bad.
It's announced.
It is. Eventually.
We have. Eventually, yeah. Well, it was waiting to find out if you could get his mate on, but his mate wasn't too keen, unfortunately, which is fair enough. Yeah. So I said, well, do you know what it is? I said, it's fair enough for us because we're happy that Lucas is going to give up his spare time to come and join us on a live show right in the middle of a January transfer window. This is why I kept saying to all you guys about getting tickets, because this is the show you want to be at. It's only 60 tickets available. Luke Edwards is giving his time. It's right in the middle of a January transfer window. That's why I kept on saying it. This is the perfect guest to have in the middle of a January window, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm a little bit with obviously our other guest that was potential, because I spoke to someone today and he said that he'd actually been to a show and he said he was absolutely brilliant. Like doing talkings and stuff like that, which I thought if we got the both of them, I thought it just would have been world class. But having Luke is just, like you say,
superb.
In the middle of a January transfer window.
Yeah.
Just, you can be very sensible in your questions, what you can ask to get sensible answers. Yeah. You're going to go there and ask ridiculous answers and just try to be clever or not. It's because he gets enough of that on social media. So I just can't wait. I can't wait for it now. It just gives that little extra edge to a perfect night, mate. It'll be absolutely perfect.
I think you've either got a TV on or you've got people in the background.
I've got a few people around, but they're going to be.
Oh, that is absolutely fine. Don't worry about that. As long as it's not a TV, so we don't get copywritten.
No, it's no TV. Definitely not.
I love it. But if you would like to get tickets for the night, that's the email address. Superfan Dan is handling all the money for the event and the tickets. Get them while you can, guys, because That is an amazing guest. £10 per person, as cheap as chips, but all the money is going to Stanley Deaf Club and the NUFC Food Bank, and that's why it's going to be a great night. Because we're doing it off our own back. We're not doing it for ourselves. We're doing it because we enjoy talking about football. We enjoy Luke coming on the show and patching things up with myself. Obviously, me being a dickhead, me being an absolute knob in the past on Twitter. Yes, I know, I'm a knob. But obviously, you know, you should never judge a book by its cover, and the fact that he kept on defending Steve Bruce so much. But there you go. Yeah, but there you go. But he's such a lovely guy. And, you know, he messages me sometimes. I mainly message him. He's messaged me a couple of times asking about the show. So it's, you know, it's amazing to be able to. He's so down to earth, though, isn't he? It's weird.
Yeah.
You know, so never judge a book by its cover, guys. And I've really been enjoying Luke's tweets recently. Obviously, there was the stadium one, which came out of the press conference. So we're going to go into Eddie Howe's press conference because this is the next match we're going to be talking about. And he was asked about the stadium. And he said he would hate to see Newcastle move. I mean, we all would. We're all fans. We all know the stadium history. We all know it's been that the stadium's been part of the club since it was formed. You know, it would be painful moving from St James's Park. But if it makes business sense, financial sense, for the rewards, it's like selling a big player and then seeing the benefit of it 2 years down the line when you bought these other players to come in to replace them, isn't it? It's a similar sort of thing. You've got to tear the Band-Aid off, haven't you, and just get on with it.
Yeah. I think it's the right answer what Eddie Howe would obviously come out with, because he always does. He's not going to turn around and say, I think it's the right move to move away from St James's Park, because all of a sudden then you'd be going, well, you're just taking away everything what everybody's built for so long, and it's that cathedral, that statement of a ground where every other footballer loves coming to playing. So it's the right answer for him. Going forward, we know to get around this PSR rules and get everything that we need to expand and do bigger and better things on and off the football field. And unfortunately, some people won't like what's going to happen. But for the future of this football club, some tough decisions what's going to happen to this football club is going to change a lot of people's minds of what Newcastle United is all about. You either accept what's going to go on, let go of the past, what you're going to enjoy in the future, or you're just going to like for me, mate. We've had long conversations with Martin from Manchester City, and I'm glad we've had these conversations and long hours and hours on phones, because it gives you a brighter and bigger perspective in your brain of how you want to succeed.
Yeah,
you have to leave the past behind to succeed, and unfortunately, modern day football, the past is forgotten about to win your trophies. That's what I'm saying. You either get on board with it or you don't, and it's awful to sound that way, mate. It really is, because we love Newcastle United. Do I want to leave St James's Park? No, because I love it. But for the future of this football club, to win stuff, and if that's what it takes, I'm all for it. For me.
Yeah,
I really am.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I mean, I hate the idea, but
I hate it. But I want us to win trophies. I want us to be I want us to be at the top of that league, competing week in, week out. I want us to be a Manchester City. But I want us to do it the right way.
Yes,
that's the difference. I want us to do it the right way, where everybody else has tried to push us back. I want us to overcome these hurdles and do it the right way, so we can say, do you know what it is? We're at the top for the right reasons.
Exactly. I mean, Gary makes a very valid point here. Eddie Howe sat on the fence very, very well, and it's the media who have twisted what he said, which is what they always do, which is why we always say, you know, everyone can download the app. You can actually watch the press conferences now. Take away your own opinion from it. Don't listen to what everybody else is saying. It will twist what you're saying.
Eddie Howe's fantastic, and Eddie Howe's one of the best about of being
100%.
He'll, I mean, the questions that he gets, excuse me, the Like I've said before, the press conference for me, I used to sit in depth and watch them for the whole lot. I only watch Razor now because I just find a lot of the other journalists, they'll either repeat the questions or they'll dig in to try and get a negative from somewhere, which I find pretty annoying. So even yourself, Eddie Howe will start laughing during it because you think some of the questions are just repetitive. Eddie Howe's very, very clever around his press conferences, and I think the way he comes along, he's very professional, and I think it's brilliant what he does.
Yeah. And a lot of the press guys hate it because he plays them like a fiddle, but Luke actually likes it because it's kind of a challenge, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, what kind of answer? I mean, what you? This is for me. If I'm going into a press conference, you're going to ask a question, a ridiculous question. What kind of answer do you think you're going to get back off him? We all know we've seen what he does, and his body language never changes. His answers are always the same. It's always very, very positive, and if there's any negative about it, it's very, very minimal. So if you're going to go in and ask a question ridiculously, you just certainly ain't going to get an answer. So I just don't understand some reporters' motives where they'll go in and just expect a ridiculous question being answered by a ridiculous answer. It ain't going to happen. So I don't get it. Hey, Dan.
That was interesting. I thought you were in Australia for a second.
Good day, mate.
Good day, mate. Good day, mate. Oh, man, that was brilliant. I'm like, what the hell? He's upside down.
Was I upside down?
Yeah, that's why I thought you were in Australia. Oh, man.
Apologies, I just got home, so all good. What are we talking about, lads?
Press conference to start with, but we have talked about having our special guest announced, finally.
Awesome.
We're happy, aren't we?
Yes, that'll be a great night. And I've got about half the tickets sold already. So
wow, 30 sold.
Yep.
That's crazy. Not bad for a shit YouTube channel, eh?
I think it has more to do with the company than the subject matter.
I love it. I think it's going to be a great night.
It's going to be so
I
much
think
fun.
Luke, given his time to do it, it's going to be even better because it's right in the middle of a January transfer window, as we spoke about. So I literally can't wait. Spurs gets 4 times the match. Exactly. We're talking about, unfortunately, pulling the plaster off and potentially leaving St James's Park. Eddie Howe was brilliant in his interview again, as always. He said, it's the focal point of the city. He loves being at St James's Park. But he says it's the powers that be upstairs who crunch the numbers and do all the logistics and understand what it's going to take to expand St James's Park. And if it's not possible, where do we move it? What's it going to look like? He was on the fence, and I thought his interview was brilliant today. What are your thoughts on leaving St James's Park?
My feelings are, if at all possible, and I've said this before, I would love to stay there. It is a central. It's the cathedral on the hill. Everybody knows where it is. All roads lead to it. Everything. When we walk up from the quayside through the big market, you're heading there. If you're heading from Oosburn, you're heading there. You're just everywhere you look. It's the focal point of the city center. So that said, it's 25, almost 30 years on since they attempted to build a new stadium up in Lees's Park. And it got shot down 25 years ago. That was 25 years ago. That was 25 years ago. Let's see what the powers that be can do today. I mean, I think the saying for the 21st century is money talks. Yeah.
I remember walking down Northumberland Street and someone with a clipboard tried to get me signed a petition to stop Newcastle from getting into Lees's Park. I just looked at it. I had my Newcastle top on, and then there was another guy 10 yards away with a clipboard getting signatures to allow us to get a team. I went, I'm going over there, love.
The unfortunate part of St James's Park at the minute is when you come along the Red Youth, and you're walking how predominantly when you would walk from there up to the ground, that would be the one you would just see St James's.
Yeah.
Now you've got that many high-rise buildings now, and it seems to just be smothered.
Yeah.
Right, and you can't see it, which is such a shame. So why not go bigger and go beyond them?
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. If we want to meet demand, and it's all about supply and demand, if we want to meet demand, we've got to go bigger. And if we got to go bigger, you can't do anything with the East Stand, and the Gallagate is going to be problematic simply because of the RVI route and the metro station. So the more you look at it, the other option, the only other option is to build anew. The problem is, again, do we want it down on the quayside where the one stadium is? No. Where the arena is? No. All signs point to Lees's Park would be the best option.
Yeah.
But the question is whether or not it can get done. So
see the thing is, my take on this is Newcastle City Council will have a massive say on this, obviously.
Yeah.
And if you move St James's Park away from the city centre, which is just totally cannot be done, in my opinion.
Yep.
Newcastle City Council on match day revenue alone, the economy that it brings to that city centre. If you're going to move a stadium away from that, the amount of money that will lose into that city. Now, other great examples, mine, is Wembley Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Right, they've got nothing around there, and they've tried to put park boxes around. It just doesn't seem to work. And for me, you have to keep your football club inside the city. We're a one-club city.
Yeah,
and that's what I think. The Newcastle Council will play a massive part of this, where this is situated, and it just points in one direction, in my opinion. And I think it's Lees's Park. It's got to be, because Everton.
Apparently, it's lost its status recently, according to Gary. Certain protections have now been lost because it's lost one of its highest statuses as a park because it hasn't been looked after properly.
Right.
Put it this way, yourself, for local councils used to look after everything. They don't even cut your grass properly now, so you can understand that. Yep. So, and that's not just Newcastle City Council; that goes right throughout the whole of the board. So for me, it just ticks every box to go there. It keeps everything more local.
Yep.
And St James's Park can be used as such another place.
Redeveloped green space, absolutely. Yep.
Exactly right.
I said loads of times. We've all said it, haven't we? Knock down St James's Park, make it a park. Knock down the park at Lees's Park and make it St James's Park. Yep. It's as simple as that. It's just swapping them around.
Don't be surprised if you knock St James's Park on there'll be half hotels. We're going down the Chelsea route where you can do other things, so it's incorporated.
Yeah, they should try and keep the green area, though, shouldn't they?
Of course, if you're taking away a green belt, you've got to replace it somehow, and there'll be something in there where the council have to do it. But again, the economy side is huge. That football stadium stays within that city.
Yep.
100%. Eddie Howe was looking forward to the game. He's played against Sean Dyche quite a lot as a manager. Mixed record. Obviously, Sean Dyche at Burnley was fantastic for a while until he almost went down with them, or did go down with them. What kind of game are you expecting, Dan, from Everton? Being away, obviously, they tanked us last season when we were in our bad form, but the year before that, we tanked them.
Yep. Well, the magic man that night was Alexander Isak, and I think we're going to be without him tomorrow night. So that's going to be difficult for us. If that means that we're going to have to play, I'm going to be honest. When I saw the substitute board go up and I saw Barnes come off, I completely against Wimbledon. I'd completely forgotten that Barnes was on the pitch.
Yeah, I don't think he was great, was he? I don't think anyone was great.
No, and so if we're going to play Anthony Gordon as a makeshift striker, that means we'll put Murphy on the right, we'll put Barnes on the left. I didn't think Osula did bad, but I don't think he uprooted any trees. But we also didn't see Tonali, and I would suspect we'll see Tonali from the get-go on Saturday. I've been a big fan of 2-0 wins lately, so I'm going to stick with 2-0. I know I said 2-0 against Wimbledon, and we just couldn't find the second goal. But no, it was. I think we can handle them. I think it'll be 2-0. They're in a rich vein of form right now, Everton. So it's
they
not
haven't
going to
been
be
playing badly,
handy.
have they?
No, not
Just
badly.
got 2-0 up and thrown it away twice.
Yep. Twice. And
They
a
could
good
do it
mate
again for a third if they want.
and a good mate of mine, Martin Beaton, is a lifelong Everton fan. He's from Inverness, but he's been a lifelong Everton fan, and I was with him, sitting with him on our Sunday morning Premier League mornings at the pub, and I watched the Everton Bournemouth game with him, and I felt so badly for him that day. and all he could do was shake his head and just say, "I knew it was too good to be true. I just knew it."
Yeah.
So sadly he won't be there tomorrow morning to watch with me, but I'm looking forward to the match. So it'll be fun.
Can't wait. Are you expecting a battle like Wimbledon on Tuesday night with Everton, or do you think it'll be a bit more of an open game?
No, I think it's going to be a very tricky fixture, mate. I really do.
Mm.
And I don't think Everton's results really give them justice where they are being in the Premier League, mate. And I think they've been in game situations where they've had the game by the scruff of the neck, mate, and they've let some bad goals in. And I think that's gone behind them. I really do. And I think they'll learn from that. And I think it's going to be a tight game. I really do. They've got players that's in form, I think, as well, especially
like McNeil,
especially in the attacking areas, right? And these players always seem to raise the game against Newcastle. It's never,
especially at their ground.
Exactly, at their ground, it's a different ball game altogether, and it's at a ground where not often that Newcastle United turn up, by the way. And yes, you know, yes, we're getting some decent results, but if you look back at the results where with Lejeune, right, we were getting absolutely battered that game, right? Battered, we did, and even
certain regime that one though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter about the regime or not. It's about the performance, what you bring at Everton away, and you'll go back even when Isak. You look at when Isak brought on his skill and got us that win. Were we great that night? No way we were.
No.
And you know what, Everton? I thought Everton were typical Everton at home. The same. Do you know what it is? It's just they're like us when we play against Manchester City at home. But they just seem to take the game to that next level, and it's going to be so difficult, in my opinion.
It's the going away party at Goodison Park as well, you know, because they'll be moving into their new stadium soon enough.
Yeah, true. Well, this is the last season, isn't it, in their old one? So it's going to be interesting for them.
For me, Dan, even if that stadium didn't exist, I think Newcastle come to their ground. It just gives them that lift. It really does. Yeah. And it's never, ever been an easy place for Newcastle United to go to. And I don't think it's going to be easy tomorrow either.
Fair enough.
No, definitely not. Anyhow, on team news, Isak will not make the game. We hope he will be back with Callum Wilson for the game after the international break. That's interesting to hear that Callum Wilson's
a second international break where everybody seems to come back from.
Yeah. Nick Pope, Kieran Trippier and Fabian Shaw should be okay. Martin Dubravka took a nasty knock to his knee, which we all saw, and that took him off at half-time. And we also have breaking news about Lascelles. So I've been messaged from someone who was at the game on Tuesday night who spoke to Lascelles directly. So it's come from the horse's mouth. He's not back till February or March. Gotcha. So everyone's been saying December, and he's unfortunately going to be Feb March. Yeah. The club was saying Xmas the other day, but he, like I said, this guy spoke to him and he literally gave him the bad news saying, no, I'm going to be February, March.
He's what, 30? He's not Botman. You know? His knees are a little bit older now, and it's going to take a little bit of time. And let's do it right so that we don't have a recurrence. So
it was a horrible injury as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, obviously you've got your different grades of what that ACL is. The most important thing is, and this is going to sound awful, the most important thing is that he comes back, that he's at a decent price where we can sell him.
Yeah.
That's what you've got to look at. There's no
I don't
point.
think we will though,
There's
because isn't his contract run out at the end of the summer? So I think he goes on a free
Didn't he not trigger another one by staying
this year. That was the trigger. I'm sure it was.
So does that not roll
I'll
further
go look.
on?
No.
I'll go look. Yep. Keep
There
talking.
you go.
I'll go look.
I'm sure the trigger was January last year to trigger a year for this season, and that was it.
So does that?
So I'm sure he's.
I thought it was from. Was it not from the? Hold on now, because this was a complicated one, because it's where the Besiktas thing came in, wasn't it?
Yeah, the cells is a free in the summer, I think. So a few people.
I thought it was if he's a free in the summer.
Yeah, he's a free in the summer.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Then. We'll not see him again. Then.
No, I mean, I'll be very surprised. I mean, unless
I
we're
thought
desperate.
it ran from January to next January. I really did.
So you had 6 months left in January.
Yeah.
And then they signed him on for another year. They triggered the year, which so it's the summer. Yeah, he signed it and then got the injury.
Yeah.
Which is just typical, isn't it?
I've been a little bit flew off because he signed that. He signed the extension when I thought that would have triggered him further over, which is that's fine then. Well, that still sounds awful.
Yeah. But that's the news on him, unfortunately. Everton v Newcastle key stats and insights. So the Opta supercomputer rates visitors Newcastle as the favourites for the clash at 46.8%, and Everton at 28%. Everton have won 6 of the past 8 Premier League matches at Goodison Park, losing the other 2. So there hasn't been a draw. It's always one way or the other, and it seems to be Everton coming out on top most of the time. We've amassed 11 points this season so far. Then it's our best through 6 matches in the Premier League since 2011-2012, as we all know. I mean, the previous results, when you look at recent form at the moment, Everton, they managed to beat Palace, which was a great win last weekend, by the way, beating Palace. They drew with Leicester away, which is a good point. But then they got beat in the Cup. They got beat off Villa. And then the Bournemouth one was just so funny. The Villa one, I had a feeling it was going to happen because they're such a far superior team and they looked like they were going to break them down at any moment. So our results look a lot better, apart from the Fulham game, of course. We beat Spurs 2-1, we beat Wolves 2-1, we got beat off Fulham 3-1. We then drew with City 1-1 last week, which was a fantastic result. And then obviously we beat Wimbledon on Tuesday night. Injuries and suspension. So Broja is got a foot injury. He just went to Everton as well, hasn't he? He's got an injury already.
From Chelsea.
Seamus Coleman is missing as well. I thought Calvert-Lewin might have been missing for this game, but he seems to not be on that list. So that's a bit of a kick in the teeth because I tell you what, he's in form.
Potential pass, he could be starting. That worries me.
Yeah. But nobody would take him for us, though, would they? Which I still find it crazy. I know he's not the best. But
Newcastle pass is a handful.
Yeah. Now, they've got Nick Pope down injured for this game, but I don't think he's injured. Lewis Marie's still out, Wilson's still out, Botman's still out, Lascelles is out, and Isaac is out. Now, it's got unknown injury, return date still unknown, but Eddie Howe obviously gave us an update to say it was going to be after the international break. You've also got Target missing with illness. Now, that was an eczema flare-up, and then loads of people have been whinging about that. It's like, you actually realise how severe eczema can be.
Yeah.
They obviously don't understand it. They've got Trippier unknown injury date, but I think he'll be all right. Dubravka, don't know about him, but we know he won't be there. And Shaw's also an unknown injury, but we know he's fine as well.
Yeah.
Head-to-head record in the last 5 matches, 2 wins either side and 1 draw. Now, Dan alluded to the potential starting lineup at the start of the show there. I think the team picks itself this week.
Yeah. Agreed.
It's pretty much what we started against City, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
As long as everyone's fit, which we think they are, don't we?
Yeah. I've seen that Tripp, Sean, Pope are all fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only outs, definite outs, is Isak and Dubravka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rest for me, from what I've seen, is Trips is back, Shaw's back, Pope's fit, and the team will be.
I figure that means Odysseus on the bench.
And Ruddy will be on the bench as well.
Well, that's right. We
Yeah,
had two
both.
keepers on the bench. Yep.
Yeah.
Is Ruddy
Ozular on the bench.
Is Ruddy
Miggy.
is Ruddy able to play as a makeshift number 9 if we had to throw him up?
Why not? Why not? I mean, Miggy didn't do enough on Tuesday night to move Murphy out of his place, did he? Because I mean, Murphy was fantastic last weekend, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Tonali obviously walks back into that team after his break. I'm glad they didn't play him on Tuesday night. And I was a bit surprised a few other ones started, to be fair. I thought we'd go half and half. I think I got 9 out of 11 right in the team that I picked. So, I think
Joe Willock looked pretty good. Looked like he was handy.
I'm not sure.
But he didn't look like he was coming back from an injury.
Yes,
to me.
Yeah, I get that.
I mean, my take on the Wimbledon game briefly was I found myself looking more at my Super 6 rather than Newcastle going forward, because I thought Newcastle were I just didn't think we were at the races, me. I really didn't. And there was quite a few players that needed minutes in the legs, just didn't perform at all. I mean,
but Ian, it was hard because let's be honest, from the off, they parked the bus. We were playing against 11 men behind the ball.
Yeah, but you've got to realise that the level that we were playing against, no disrespect to Wimbledon, obviously it's League Two.
Yeah,
we still should have enough quality. Whoever goes out there to break them down and to pull them into areas that they're uncomfortable, right? And for me, we just didn't move the ball quick enough. We just lacked that cutting edge. We just lacked
intensity, wasn't it?
You know, we lacked
Never
that.
Got out of second gear.
We lacked that Premier League level.
Yeah.
That would look what Manchester United did to Barnsley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. They destroyed them. Yep. And for me, that team that played that was put out there on the other night, we should have been 3 or 4 comfortable.
Agreed. No, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not disagreeing with that at all, Ian. Because of the gulf of class between the two sides, we should have seen a much higher scoring game. But at the same time, no Isak, no Gordon from the start, no Wilson. You know, I'm looking at our striking options, and it was shite.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, when you've made, what did we make, 8 changes?
Close to that,
yeah.
Yeah. So when you've made 8 changes against a League Two side, right? This is them players that went out there against the League Two side should be capable enough to beat them without even going anywhere near that starting 11. By the way, we still have to bring on our top players' mind to try. Do you know, because Eddie Howe was frustrated, and he said that in his interview today. If you in his press conference, and if you're clever, what he said about it was, he tried because the crowd were frustrated. He was frustrated. Everybody was frustrated that we didn't offer more. Right?
From an attacking point of view, that's correct.
From an attacking point of view. Now, he was clever. What he said was because he was directing that to the 11 that was on the pitch, because he believed they should have given more. Right, and we believe they should have given more, and they still should have had enough to do that. For me personally, they should have been out there and really taken that game to them and going in 2 or 3-0 and being comfortable. We played Bruno at half time, mind, against the League Two side, risking a player of his stature trying to excite, trying to get us through a cup game where they shouldn't even have been thought about. And that's the frustrating thing for me. Miggy for me he should have been the player that
threw his name in the hat.
Like as a defender, when you're going against Newcastle United, you brought Miggy on. That defender was quite comfortable, right? Because he just didn't want to. He just didn't want to be exposed, or he didn't want to bring him in areas where he wasn't he wasn't comfortable with. Yes, I agree with you, Dan. Right, they sat there and parked the bus. Why? Because our play was so slow, was so predictable. We didn't play like a Premiership side. We played like a League Two side. What they play against every single week, and that's why I felt frustrating. We should have been miles better on that game.
100%. No disagreement here.
I mean, we had chances to put the game to bed as well. Don't forget, Miggy missed a one-on-one when he smashed it over the bar. Lack of composure, and that was what we wanted to see him breaking the line and playing the ball over the top the way they did.
I was really looking forward to seeing a Sula play, right? Because I thought he would get plenty of service, and I thought he would be. This is the kind of game where you'll go get your confidence and get a couple of goals. You look at the service that man got in that game.
Oh, none.
Got nothing. He worked on scraps.
He got a couple of passes, didn't he? And that was about it. He got that one lovely little turn he did inside the box and put it wide, which was a good effort.
Himself.
Yeah, he made it himself. Yep.
And that's not good enough.
Agreed.
But it's also difficult for a team with 9 changes just to gel as well. That's another side of it. You've thrown them all together. And then you've got a team that's got 5 at the back, 4 in midfield. There's hardly any space between them to play in the lines. They had until the last 60 seconds, they had no ambition of really going forward.
Yeah, true.
And that's where it's very, very difficult. Well, 8 or 9 changes, it's still a lot. And you're still throwing a team together and asking them to go out and perform against a team that's very dogged, have got the second best defensive record in their league. So they know how to defend.
Well, I'm with Ian. We should have seen more from the players we expected to see more from. Barnes has been in an incredible vein of form, and I completely forgot he was on the pitch. Miggy didn't do what we know he's capable of. Osula was feeding off of scraps. Willock played well. He didn't look like he was coming back from an injury, but at the same time, lacking the spark that we know that he's capable of. Longstaff did what Longstaff does, and pushed himself around. J7 was out there, but he was not the beast that we normally see. Cher,
it was too easy. That's what it felt like. It was too easy.
Cher did what Cher does. I mean, he got forward.
Cher was brilliant.
And I loved seeing him with the captain's armband. I thought that was great. So I just it wasn't the best game, but we're through to the next round. I'm nervous about the next round. I don't want to face Chelsea. They are just right now. Maresca's got them playing. Maresca has got them playing much better than I expected them to.
I expected them to play well. It's just they're missing their striker, aren't they? But that's another show.
Yep. We'll get to that later.
We sure will. Another day. Let's have a look at the Everton team that's been touted about. Tarkowski is I also heard he was a doubt for the game, but he's there. I mean, if you're Harvey Barnes and you're Anthony Gordon and you see yourself up against Ashley Young, you want to be terrorising him all day long. I mean, Jack Harrison is very good as well. He'll help out in defence. But that's where you want to see them doing. You want to see us pushing their wingman back, making it difficult for them to get out and forcing our game onto them. And I mean, Ashley Young's a nailed-on yellow card candidate this weekend if he's starting at right back. Because there's no way he's going to control when Barnes tries to cut inside or go on the outside of him. There's no way he's going to control Anthony Gordon if Gordon decides to wander out on the left-hand side, which he does. There's a disaster waiting to happen in that Everton back line. Depending on how high up the play to how deep the play, it's going to be very, very interesting. And Calvert-Lewin, he's a good striker, I'm telling you. I've always stuck up for him because you put him in a better team, I think he scores more goals.
I see Dan Burn putting him in his pocket.
But again, it's like the Haaland situation, isn't it? If
Yep.
if Calvert-Lewin wants a battle, we've got the perfect defender who loves a battle.
Yep.
I'm looking at the rest of the team as well. I mean, Decore is not a bad player, but he's not fantastic. They lost, obviously, their best midfielder, Ian. I mean, what do you make of that potential team?
I've seen Braithwaite's 50-50, by the way.
Have you? See,
yeah.
again, there's another one who's at risk. That would
Right, Braithwaite's got a quad injury. Now,
right.
if that quad injury's right, Braithwaite could be out, and Keane's going to step in.
Now, Leslie thinks that Braithwaite has been declared out today, so that's interesting.
Yeah. So, and Keane's set to make I think it's his first Premier League start of the season. Now, for me, I'd rather have Keane playing than Braithwaite for an attacking side. Do you know Ashley Young? Do you know, he's been a fantastic professional, mate. And
of course he has. He was fantastic for Man United and for Villa, but he's past it now, isn't he?
He's a canny age now. Do you know what I mean? And I think both fullbacks, they're decent. Do you know, if you give them time and you let them play. Obviously, Mikalenko, he likes to get up and down. Because obviously, I like the look of left back. I think he's not a bad left back. Young, you know, he's been a great player, by the way, a great professional. Has his legs gone a little bit? I don't think they have. I still think he's a decent player. Harrison. Do you know Harrison in front as well, mind? And you've got Ndiaye on the other side. The decent players going forward, by the way, that can be a right handful. So the forward attack and like the forward side of them is they're not a bad side. And yes, they've left. I don't think he's the best player that's gone. Who's went to Aston Villa? I think he's a good player. I don't think he's the best about.
I think in their midfield he is.
I think
in midfield, how he's gone on leaps and bounds now.
I think personally, mate, it's McNeil at the minute who we need to worry about. I think he's at a rich bit of form at the minute.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And he's going to play in that pocket where sometimes we've struggled at times, especially when the ball breaks down. Because if we're playing that front foot counter attacking play, when it breaks down, have we got the people that's beyond the ball when it, you know what it is? Because we found ourselves at times where we felt that look at when we went at Fulham, you know, when we conceded goals there. Nottingham Forest at home last season where we conceded bad goals when it broke down. I'm hoping Tonali being that little pivot that gives us that structure. When it does break down, when we haven't got the ball, he's that one where that hides them lines, because Dwight McNeil can be a right handful in that little pocket, especially with Calvert-Lewin, because he's the handful up top. Which again, when he plays against Newcastle, I fear the worst. He doesn't seem to have his best games against Newcastle, but he's always causes problems.
Scored the penalty, didn't he?
He's another one of them.
Broke our hearts.
You look at the team and you think he's not one. Do you know when I had the Turkish kid up top? I would rather have had him all day long than Calvert-Lewin. He's another Robbie Fowler.
Brozier.
Yeah.
You know, he's just always seems to haunt Newcastle. He's just. I hope I'm wrong, but all these games he's played, he's just been a nuisance.
But look at their ratings this is the season ratings as well. There's only 2 players in green. That shows you how bad they've been playing, as individuals.
Can you give them top ratings, or Baz, where they've give games away? You know what I mean? They've conceded bad goals. Where if you watch,
this is the thing.
You've watched some
with
of the games.
System.
They've had the games by the scruff of the neck. You know, I mean, they were 2-0 against Tottenham, weren't they?
With this scoring system, it goes off like pass completion rates, duels. You know, it goes on the actual stats and figure. It doesn't go on like, you know, looking at it from a football fan's point of view. It literally goes off stats and figures of how well the players have played. So that tells you, even though they've been ahead in games, like the Villa game, for example, did they really deserve to be 2-0 up in that game? Probably not. Villa were all over them. So it goes off like the stats and passing completions and dangerous passes and all this sort of stuff. So,
I mean, what kind of direction do you think Everton's going to attack Newcastle? Are they going to be long ball, or do you think they're going to be a possession type, or do you just think they're going to get in our faces? What do you think, mate?
I'll let Dan answer that.
It's a Sean Dyche team. They're going to get after us. It's from the off. They're just going to try and stifle us and play Route 1 football to get to Calvert-Lewin and McNeil. I think that's what they will do. And you're right. I think if Barnes and Hall torment Ashley Young, we could be playing against 10 men very quickly. I think if they just turn him around and frustrate him, I think it could work to our benefit.
I think it could be like a Sam Allardyce masterclass is what you're probably looking to do, where you feed off the second balls. You keep the ball live in dangerous areas. You win that second ball. You win that third ball. That's what kind of game it's going to be. And when they get the ball high up, like you said, with their forward line, if they do keep the ball high up, they've got enough quality there to cause problems. But can we stop them being that high up the pitch by enforcing our game and our passing and our creativity on them and getting down our left and right-hand side? So, I mean, if they're going to attack us, you're probably looking at them attacking Hall. Even though Hall's been brilliantly recently, our left-hand side seems to be the weakest part of our team. Even though it's the best side going forward, it's probably the weakest side in defence, because then you've also got Dan Burn at left centre-back, who doesn't have the pace as well.
I can't wait to see the J7 Decourt battle. I think that's going to be a fun one to watch. And of course, last year, I think when we played Everton, we were missing J7, obviously. At St. James's, we were missing Joe Linton because he was already ruled out for the rest of the season. And we've got the wild card in that Everton hasn't faced Tonali yet.
Yeah. I think it all depends how well we manage the ball and how, if we can win that midfield battle, force them to go long, but having gaps between the Calvert-Lewin and the midfield where we can pick up those loose balls like we did against Wimbledon when they humped it forward. They had nothing to hold on to it because we were there to pick up the loose ball again. It's all about ball retention for me.
And let Tonali and Bruno unleash Gordon, Barnes, and Murphy, because between those three, we've got pace, we've got legs, we've got energy. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun match, and I'm just thrilled because it's the 9:30 match here. It's 9:30 a.m. and not 7 and not 4:30 in the morning. So
as well for Anthony Gordon as well. When we signed Anthony Gordon, if you remember, when he went down there, he was on the bench. He came on for, I think it was 10-15 minutes, and they gave him a right turret. In the second game we went down there, he was injured, so he didn't actually play. So this is his first start going back at Goodison. So let's see how he reacts. Starting from the start. I'm hoping that we'll see an absolute world-class performance, because last week I thought Gordon was exceptional against Manchester City.
Agreed.
His pressing was fantastic, but he's off the ball in areas where you made them not be as comfortable on the ball and passing and stuff. I thought just everything about his performance was brilliant. It's it's going to be a completely different main going down this, because it's going to be a different ball game altogether. They're playing a completely different style to Manchester City. Pickford will go as he always does. He'll go very, very long. So they'll not play out from the back. So it's the counter-attacking side where we're going to see a different side. Anthony Gordon with the ball, and like I said, he's going back to Everton. We've seen so many times where there's some players went back to the old club and they just haven't stood out. I'm hoping Anthony Gordon goes to that next level for us tomorrow and be that superstar that we know he is.
Yep, agreed.
And we know Pickford's got a great distribution kick on him as well. So we do know he can reach the edge of the box We know that's the sort of Sam Allardyce thing we just spoke about winning the second ball. So it all depends if we can win that midfield battle. That is I know it sounds the cliche, but that midfield battle is key because it's going to be picking up those second balls and third balls and getting bite into your tackles.
But as well, though, Baz, I agree with you that midfield's key, right? However, I would say for long periods of that game with Pickford's kicking ability, the midfield would be missed out. And I think Sean Dyche...
it's picking up the balls from Calvert-Lewin. That's where the midfield battle comes in.
I think Sean Dyche will purposely, because he'll know that we've got Tonali, Bruno and J7 in there, that he'll tend to miss them out. Because he'll know if it goes through us, go on the front foot through there, I think he'll know that we'll be better than him. So it'll be... It'll probably, like I say, he'll miss them out. And I think it'll be very channeled. Very channeled. He'll keep it away from Dan Burn. He'll target Hall because he's small, and he'll target Trippier because he's small. So I think there'll be overloads down the flanks. It's pretty obvious, in my opinion. I'll be very, very shocked if it's not that way. And I think a lot of the time Calvert-Lewin will be pulling outside to the wide areas, looking for McNeil, looking for Harrison coming in off the flanks to pick the pieces up. Dragging Dan Burner out there because it would be a mismatch if not. So I think
that's what I was going to. I'm going to throw a left field suggestion out there. If they're going to be targeting one of the smaller guys at left back or right back, is it worth? And I know everyone hates it, but playing Dan Burn at left back and playing Kelly at left centre back to give us that extra height.
Yeah. What you'll probably
play
see
free at the back because of that as well.
What you'll probably see tomorrow is it'll be a brave Joe Linton dropping in on Hall's toes if it goes down the left-hand side. So it'll be a double up where Joe Linton will drop in on there. It's the right-hand side where you might whatever it takes, but I think we've seen Joe Linton do it quite a few times, where he's helped.
He did against City, didn't he?
Yes, he did. So that side, I think that'll happen. On the other side, I'm not so sure. But
Trippier is very good in the air for his size as well, though, to be fair. I know he's not going to be able to challenge Calvert-Lewin, but he's actually very clever at using his body and making it difficult for someone like Calvert-Lewin to be able just to win the ball easily and be able to fend it off. So I'm not too worried about the right-hand side. I'm worried about the left-hand side like you are.
I think if I was a betting man, I think set players is going to be huge in this football game.
Apparently I've set the fan base off. What have I done now? Oh yeah, Dan Burn at left back. Right, very quickly guys, hit the subscribe button if you're enjoying the show. Hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget there's a membership option which helps us to run the channel for free, keep all these fancy stuffs we can do on the screen. Diacro, absolute fantastic, amazing sponsor. Baz 20% off. Got all their gear, not just the Newcastle stuff. You can buy anything from their website. It's absolutely amazing stuff. So please consider buying some clobber, as we like to call it. And don't forget football prizes. They've got an amazing J7 framed shirt. You can also win a Kelly one, a Livramento one, and an Uzla one. Oh, there's an Uzula. I can never get that pronounced. Usula. $3.95 a ticket, 349 tickets available. It ends today, 7:30. Shit, we're too late for that one. It's Friday today, isn't it? This one's closed. Keep checking out their website for the next one. I completely forgot it's my fucking birthday tomorrow. I should know what date it is, shouldn't I?
Is it really your birthday?
Yeah, it's my birthday tomorrow.
Well, then I'm adding
5th of October. So I've already said I don't want anything for my birthday but 3 points.
45
43, cheeky bastard. And don't forget, tickets are on sale. There's only 30 left, so get in there while you can. £10 per person. All the money going to charity. We'll hopefully have some shirts to raffle off as well. And if you want to buy your tickets, you've just got to email Superfan Dan. I can't wait for this. I really can't. Still some planning to do for it, but we've got lots planned. And Dan, you've got some history with this fixture, haven't you?
So the top picture was the 6-2 victory on Good Friday, March 29th, 2002. And the bottom picture, of course, was when we were there for March 30th earlier this year, when we came from behind with 2 Harvey Barnes Thunderbolts to beat West Ham 4-3. That's 22 years and 1 day apart, those 2 pictures.
Crazy.
And as you can
And
see,
what was the score when
almost,
you visited the Everton? What was the score? That's the most important
well, it
thing.
was 6-2. Let's see if I remember right. Hold on. If I remember right, it was Shearer, Court, Andy O'Brien, Nobby Solano, Olivia Bernard. Those were the 6 goals.
Something like that. I was there as well.
Olivia Bernard. I'm playing against him in the morning.
Yeah.
Are you really?
Oh, get him on the show. You know what you got to do.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Against him in the morning.
So when he's going down the left wing and you're meant to be defending him, just hand him a card and let him pass.
I won't be defending him on the left wing pass because I'm on the other side.
No, but you've got to make sure you get over there.
Just pick him up on
Just
the
hand
set
him a
piece.
card and say,
Just-
right, go on,
just-
good luck.
During the set
I
piece,
won't
you
be
just
getting over there to hand him a card, put it that way. We need to
maybe,
win.
maybe get him a yellow. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. Good one. See,
Yeah,
everyone
thanks,
thinks it's
Baz.
a great
That was
idea.
fun.
It was. Last little topic very quickly before we get onto what we think the score is going to be. Dan already jumped the gun with that one. He's going 2-0. But you guys in the chat, get your scores in. I'm going to get you in soon. International call-ups. Great for, is it Saha? Is that how you pronounce his name? Or Shaha, the defender? Sunshai. You love this, Ian, don't you? Because you know I can't pronounce these bloody names. But they've been called up to the under-18s, England under-18s, which is fantastic news. It just shows we've actually got talent.
I thought you were speaking a foreign language, Baz.
Oh, it gets better.
There we go. I just can't. I can't do it. I can't. Is it Shahar? Because it's spelled Shahar. That's Shahar, isn't it? I'm the king. The king is alive.
You just keep practicing, Baz. You're doing a great job.
Sun Yusai. I don't know. I've given up with it, mate. I've given up with it. Sanusi. It doesn't look like Sanusi to me. Like,
As soon as he starts saying the king is alive, it's the first thing I think of is History of the World Part 1. It says, Your Majesty, you look like the piss boy. And you look like a bucket of shit.
I love it.
I just aged myself.
Oh, brilliant. But them two have been called into the under-18s. You've had Tino and Hall have been called up to the under-21s, and you've got Gordon and Pope being called up to the England full national team. Dan, this is great for our future, isn't it? And it's great for Gordon's confidence again because he loves playing for England. Great for Pope's confidence because he's shown that he's doing something right. And there's other call-ups to players abroad, but I want to concentrate on the England guys because these are the guys that, are in our country. They're going to play for our country, and they also go towards those numbers of, homegrown talent, I suppose is what you want to call them. Agreed. So it's great to see, isn't it?
Yep, agreed, 100%. Yep. The pipeline is in fact working. For after years of being barren, our development route looks like it's starting to show some promise, which is good.
Yeah. It might take 4 or 5 years to see it all, but we know it's there, don't we? We know it's happening. We know it's bubbling in the background. And that's what a lot of fans have got to realise. For us to beat PSR, it's got to come from youth as well. So it's good. Right, let's go to some scores. We've got John O'Hare 3-2 to Newcastle. We'll finally get a few goals. John's gone 3-1. Paul Gallen's gone 4-0.
Nice, Paul.
Optimistic. But hey, you never know. I mean, hey, 4-1 from chairs. Everyone's very optimistic tonight, aren't they? 3-1. Sanusi. That doesn't spell Sanusi there, though, does it?
Sanusi. Yes. Sanusi.
See, you're saying it differently there, though. Careful, don't choke on that drink.
It's as that does for me.
Gary, yes, just seen it a week ago. I have to rewatch it though, and I love Nick Cage's performance.
Agreed.
Something going on there. San Usi. There we go. Why can't you just spell it like that then, if that's how it's pronounced?
There you go.
You know what I'm like. Right, Dan, you've gone 2-0 scorers.
Oh shoot. Gordon and Barnes.
Gordon and Barnes.
I would love to see
Likely
Murphy
lads.
get on it. I would love to see Murphy get a cheeky one. You know, just 30 yards out, just like his second against Everton. I mean, against
Wolves.
shit. Well, no. Murphy, the one against Spurs.
Oh, Spurs,
in the
where he smashed it in,
the meme-worthy one. Yes, that's the one. That's what I would like to see.
Remember that one.
Yep.
Yeah. What scoreline you gone for, Ian?
Yeah, I think I've explained that. I think it's going to be very difficult. I've went for us to nick a 2-1.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Dan Burn for the goal.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh.
Dan Burn and Gordon to get the winner.
Gonna score from a corner or something like that, because we never score from corners, do we?
Dan Burn and Gordon. Gordon will get the winner.
That'll do.
Oh,
I like it.
I would love that. Happy birthday for tomorrow. Thanks. Yes, I am getting old. Yes, I don't want to keep saying it.
You'll catch me someday.
I just won 3 points. See, I've gone 2-0.
Yep.
On Super 6. So
Join
I'm
the
going
club.
to have to stick with 2-0. I'm going to have to stick with 2-0. That's what I went with yesterday when I looked at all the games. I'm looking... Yeah, I think 2-0. I think you're right. I think Gordon will definitely score. Who gets the other one? Gordon might get them both.
I would love to see
Gordon at the double.
I would love to see his reaction, Baz, because obviously he's a Liverpool fan.
Yep.
Right, and as much as the respect that you think you've been at that club, but you've got to remember how them fans treat him.
Yep.
I hope he scores and sticks it right up to me. I really do.
Agreed. I'm with you right there, 100%.
Do you know what? I hope he doesn't, because I think it'll make them feel even worse.
What if he sticks it up them, or if he just goes like that?
No, he doesn't. If he doesn't, do you know what it's like? It's like when your parent tells you off and they say, "I'm not angry, I'm disappointed."
You're so level-headed.
I know.
But if
It's terrible at times, isn't it?
Can you be level-headed, right? If we're chasing that game and it goes to the 88th minute and Gordon slips one at that back stick, and you're going to go, "I know I'm right, but I can't." No chance.
No, I think what he does is he does
shirt
like
off,
he did.
shorts off, kits by up, hell, got a lot.
Speaking of which,
Look, kicking.
speaking of which, there were pictures this last week during the week. Ketsy was visiting the park. That looked fantastic. Did you see it?
Yes, I did see the pictures. Yes,
He looked like a picture of health, didn't he?
yeah. He's always been a, bold
Yep.
goddess.
Yep.
God, just the way he kicked those boards. If Anthony Gordon does it, he won't be kicking boards, he'll be kicking scousers.
I love how Lauren Robert tried to tell us, you cannot take your boots off, mate.
Yeah, calm down. Yeah.
And he pushed Pistone off. He was just like, "Get off me."
Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, what a day that was. I remember him kicking off. I thought, what the hell's going on?
I'll tell you what, his goal was class.
Yes.
It was, yeah. I'll tell you what, with VAR these days, he probably would have got sent off.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
Probably.
Yeah, ridiculous.
He would have gotten a yellow for the shirt and then another yellow for one shoe. He was trying to get his kicks off, but he didn't.
He was. He tried to get the whole lot off. It was absolutely.
I was a loon, just an absolute loon.
It's probably the biggest meltdown I've ever seen in football. Apart from Cantona. Cantona probably tops it.
Yeah.
At Palace.
Yeah.
With the flying kung-fu kick.
Yeah.
That was
it though, the amount of emotions that run through players for him to try and. I mean, the goal was important, but to take all your gear off and start booting things all over the. I mean, God. I mean, you were seeing some goal celebrations, but that was just that topped the lot.
I'm trying to see where.
It's in there somewhere.
It's in this picture somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I mean, the left-hand side of the goal, wherever it is, because that's where it was celebrated.
I got it.
Yep,
I
there
found
we
it.
go. Yep.
There it is.
Yeah. There we go. And the Cantona one, it always reminds me. Have you heard of the Brian? There it is, the Brian McClare story with the Cantona flying kick.
No.
You've never heard the story? It's absolutely brilliant. I'll quickly summarise it. They get beat off Palace. Cantona's been sent off. Normally they say, what happens when we get beat away? They know Alex Ferguson's going to be furious and he's waiting for them in the changing room. So what we normally do is we would go and applaud the fans for a little bit longer than we usually do. Give, Fergie a chance to calm down.
Cool off. Yeah.
Not today. Cantona's got sent off. He's just fly kicked the fan. Everyone's like, come on, get the change rooms as quick as we can. Fergie's going to go off it. Can't wait to see this. So all the players are sat down and Fergie's gone through every single one of them. He's like, Claire, you were shit. Pallister, you can't defend like that. Giggs, you're a wimp. Cantona, you just can't do that over here, mate. And that was it. Absolutely brilliant. He's respect.
Yep.
Well, you listen to the whole story, the way they tell it, it's absolutely fantastic. It's definitely.
And then 10 years later, kicks a boot at Beckham's head. So what do you do?
Yes. Did he throw a kick? I can't remember which one it was. But
it was on. It was on the floor, and Fergie kicked it, and it.
Yeah. Cracked him in the head. Brilliant. I saw it advertised. Oh, what's this? Anyone here, Alan Podger, talking about the headbutt incident against Hull on Talksport? No, but obviously we all know about that one. And there was a Chinese fan who came over and said the reason why he supports Newcastle is because of Alan
because of that headbutt,
didn't he? What a reason to support a team, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. Let's just travel all the way from Japan because someone tried to headbutt a player and I'm now a fan. I love it.
Fantastic.
Absolutely love it. Right, don't forget, guys, I need your videos for TikTok.
Yep.
Get them done.
We'll do.
I will be doing a watch along tomorrow. A birthday watch along. The missus is going to kill me.
You told her all you want for your birthday is it's 3 points. That's all.
Have you done the washing?
Exactly. That's all I want. No.
Get the washing done, you'll be all right.
Yeah. To be fair, I've had 4 hours sleep. I've looked after the kids since I got
4
it.
hours. Forget your 4 hours sleep. You think, get the washing done for your lads.
I've made them tea. I washed up, but I haven't done washing, which is very different.
Get the washing done for your lads.
I'm with you there. Yep.
I've got to take into ballet tomorrow. That's good.
I did the hoovering around the house last night.
Get the chores in before the match and you'll be fine.
Indeed. Ian is a wise lad.
Just
think about it. I've got football in the morning, right? And then I've got
but wait a minute, Ian. Sod that, right? Ian's a good lad because I've seen his missus kick off with him when he's live on shows when he's too loud. She comes in and slams the door.
What you're trying to say? What you're saying? I'm petrified. Yeah, right. So anyway, she tells me I've got football in the morning. Then I'm going to go shopping, and then I'll get everything sorted so I can sit down with the match and then watch the match in peace. See.
Brilliant.
The lads are on if you want to say hi. Brilliant. Hold on.
Hey, are there? Woo!
I've got my headphones in, so she couldn't. But she gave us a wave.
She did. She's brilliant. Can't wait for you to come over in January. Remember, guys, this is in January. We cannot wait for it. 30 tickets left. Get your names down. Right, we're going to leave it there. It's been brilliant, as always. My face is hurting from laughing. I'm losing my voice. It's all fantastic. And hopefully we'll be losing our voice tomorrow when we're celebrating 3 points against the scum, the Mackham scum, the Mackham wannabes. Oof, I hate them. But yes. Good night, everyone.